I was lurking on the old Steam Controller Reddit, like I'm always around, and I came across this, which is a mouse-centric big picture mode configuration by, I'm gonna say that's Electronix 22, Electronics. I'm thinking probably Electronix. But anyways, I checked this out. It was well, actually, yeah. Let's just go do that. So he was taking the big picture profile and adding mouse to it, which I fiddled around with. I like the approach, but it wasn't quite what I wanted out of big picture. So I'm showing you this just because this was the launch pad that got me into it. It got me thinking, why don't I ever fiddle with big picture mode? Don't forget to access this. You need to be in big picture mode just to get to this particular part. But you got base configurations. Now for the desktop one, I have tweaked that for some of my own things. Just a little, like I changed, I can't even really remember what all I changed. I didn't do too much. And then the chord configuration, I feel like I've covered that in the past, but just as a refresher, that's basically think of that as a mode shift while you're in game or on your desktop, wherever. That when you hold in the icon, you get a whole separate set of commands. So, like for instance, for me, I didn't like the way they had Alt Tab, so I switched that around. And like I put in like when I push this and B, that's for OBS to record. Right Alt and Insert is like my keyboard shortcut, which is really useful. So I can just boom, boom, and then stop recording like once I have the green screen set up. But anyways, it's a typical Existential Egg ramble. What I wanted to go over was this big picture configuration. So I started up the old eggs BPM brouhaha, and really, I'm kind of making a bit of a 2018 resolution to get away from the analog stick. I'm starting to notice that this is wearing out a little bit, and I'm loving my custom controller, and I don't want, I want to get as much life out of it as I can. So what I did was basically, this is move up, left, right, down. I just took that and copied it to the left trackpad. I added back and select to the grips. But the part that I'm really digging is I put single button, you just tap the right pad, and that's select. So boom, you just go into that. And really where that becomes useful is like in your library. That's like, I kind of always avoided, it just wasn't something that interested me. Like, I only use a Steam controller when I'm playing a game. So I never really like got into, there's some crazy configurations for like using Photoshop and like a lot of desktop utilities. But this is immediately more seamless for me. But the main thing that I wanted to, the main argument I wanted to make to fiddle around with this, even if you weren't thinking of it, is for this. When you're in the configurator, it makes it so much easier to just, I can tap around, tap that once, grip to go back. Like I don't understand why they only, this is like all that they use really. Instead of everything that's great about the Steam controller, they don't use any of it in big picture mode. And this is like bare basics. I'm not using gyro. I decided to not use a mouse since, to me, big picture mode is kind of, it's streamlined for a controller, so I'm okay with just tapping around. And like, I don't feel the need to use a scroll bar because you can just hold down. But yeah, like I feel just, and it's I don't do click, it's just touch. But it feels really nice. And mainly, like I'm saying, it's because when you get into this, it is so much better when you're in the configurator. Just tapping around, boom, boom, boom. Boom. No, I didn't want that. Get it back. Let's mouse up. Instead of clunkily cluck, cluck, click, 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 clicking around with the analog stick, which I do love the analog stick, but I'm gonna try to not depend on it quite so much. And just thinking that I don't want to use the stick quite so much, kind of, and seeing his Reddit post about his mouse-centric big picture profile, it kind of just got me in this, like, thinking about this, and yeah, it's so much nicer. So I didn't really tweak it that much, but let's see. I don't think I can share it yet. We'll see. I didn't fuss with the web browser, select mouse position, on-screen key. I didn't do any of that. I was just fiddling a little bit with mainly just copying the joystick to the trackpad and turning the right pad into a giant touch button. I did notice too that I originally had select and back on the triggers, and that would actually, I can't really show it. Yeah, even if I switch to a mouse, it's going to change it. It switched these prompts, which I kind of wanted to keep those as showing me the face buttons. And even like keeping it on, well, I can show you. No, I don't want to show you because I want to export this. If I changed the trigger to select, it would change select down there on the bottom and show like a little RT, which that's just preference. That's just me being goofy. I'll toss this up. I'll try to get it in the video description whenever I upload it. And just as a reminder, I do try to put all of my profiles on my Discord server. I have a whole separate little channel on there for my profiles with links that will open, since the YouTube links rarely, you have to copy the link from YouTube. But anyways, that was just something I wanted to mention. Like, don't forget that you can tweak all this other stuff too. Like, once I started thinking about it, why the hell did it take me so long before I even thought of playing with that big picture configuration? I had gotten into the desktop one, and I added some of the chord tweaks that I wanted, but I never really messed with the big picture one. And when you go into it, it's like that's all why didn't they use anything? I don't understand it. It's really baffling how they don't focus on the features of their own hardware. That's one of life's mysteries. I don't know. But all right, that's all I got. Nice little ramble. It feels good to be back. I got a lot of shit I'm rambling about.